Now everybody, we have a lot of news to cover in today's video. The White House is giving Republican lawmakers in Congress just 1 week to reach a deal on infrastructure. We can expect to see a big spending bill passed very soon, and that means Social Security recipients, many of you guys may see an increase in your payments. Now if you folks support the fourth stimulus check of $1,000 a month, then let's get this video to 1,000 likes. And before we get started, don't forget to subscribe to my channel and share this video with your friends and family. On this channel, I always do my best in providing you guys with the most up-to-date and reliable stimulus check news.
A war for liberty and for the preservation of the Constitution. In calling for such today, General John Logan, Commander of the Grand Army of the Republic, issued General Order Number 11. He directed the nation set aside a day to honor, and I quote, those who died in defense of their country during the late rebellion and whose bodies now lie in almost every city, village, and hamlet, churchyard throughout the land. And so we have, and so we do again today.
So folks, the Transportation Secretary said that time is running short for a bipartisan deal on infrastructure, indicating that President Biden will look to act without Republican support if there is no consensus when the Congress returns from its Memorial Day break. The Secretary said, by the time that they return, which is June 7th, we need a clear direction. The President keeps saying inaction is not an option and time is not unlimited here. He said the American people expect us to do something. Now Biden does plan to meet with Republican senators like Senator Shelley Moore Capito of West Virginia. And Joe Biden even says that he remains open to hearing from GOP senators who are working on different proposals. But Biden has been eyeing the dwindling timeline for a deal with an early June hearing scheduled on a House transportation bill that is widely seen as a building block for the big package that he favors. Now everyone, do you think that Republicans will be able to reach a deal with the Biden administration on infrastructure? Leave your thoughts on this in the comments below. Democratic senators are also planning on moving forward on a sweeping infrastructure package, with or without Republican support. Senate Majority Leader Chuck Schumer wrote to Democrats on Friday. Biden has originally set a Memorial Day deadline for reaching a deal before he let that deadline slip back. Now the Democrats and Republicans folks still remain far apart on the deal. Republican senators last week outlined a $928 billion infrastructure proposal as a counteroffer to Biden's $1.7 trillion proposal. And they said that they would not go along with his plans to raise the corporate tax rate from 21% to 28% to pay for new spending. A White House advisor told reporters on Friday that Republicans want to shift unspent crisis relief dollars to help cover the cost, a non-starter for many Democrats, and a proposal that Biden is finding unworkable. On Sunday, Shelley Moore Capito said that she remained hopeful the two sides can move closer to an agreement. She stated, I think we'll get to a real compromise. Absolutely, because we're both still in the game. We realize that it's not easy. I think we'll bring every idea that's on the table into negotiations to see how we can achieve this and get it across the threshold. But the big question is everybody, will our seniors be eligible for a big Social Security raise? Folks, just know this, each year, Social Security recipients are eligible for a cost of living adjustment or COLA. COLAs are calculated based on data from the CPIW, or Consumer Price Index for urban wage earners, which measures fluctuations in the cost of common goods and services. When inflation strikes and the CPIW rises, seniors on Social Security are given a raise. But when the CPIW drops or stays flat, seniors can be denied a COLA. Over the past few months, we've seen our share of inflation to the point where a lot of people are feeling the pain at the pump and at the supermarket. And if that trend continues, it could result in seniors getting a big Social Security raise for 2022. And while seniors may be able to look forward to more money next year, they may be spending more money than ever just to cover basic living costs. And given that Social Security has for many years done a poor job of enabling seniors to maintain their buying power, it is not exactly a great situation. The Congressional Budget Office projects a Social Security deficit of $120 billion this year that will steadily grow to $384 billion by 2030. 2 years later, the trust fund will become fully depleted. If we do not act soon, the Social Security Administration will not have the resources or authority to pay full benefits, leading to immediate 25% benefit cut. And such an outcome would be a crisis for most of the 80 million Americans who will be receiving Social Security in that year. If lawmakers wait until the trust fund runs dry, then we will be faced with a mix of ugly choices. We could immediately cut benefits for 80 million recipients by 25%. We could raise payroll tax rates for 180 million workers from 12.4% to about 16.4%. In either case, further spending cuts or tax increases will be required going forward. Now folks, that's all the news in this video. If you guys found this video useful and helpful, don't forget to subscribe to my channel and give this video a like. Until next time everybody, have a great day and stay safe.
And where it stands is we are trying across the country, I couldn't say this at the graduation, but we are trying to get 15 million emails, calls, letters to the president to do this. College should be a ladder up, and that's how it's always been, but with student debt, it's often an anchor down. So many kids have so much debt, and middle-class people too. So the president, you don't need legislation. With the flick of a pen, can just say $50,000 of debt is forgiven, totally. And you don't pay taxes on it. We passed in the ARP because he said, well, I don't know if I should do this, because let's say you get $20,000 in debt forgiven and you're paying 25% rate taxes, you'd have to pay $5,000 of that. Now that doesn't have to be done either. So we are trying to get this done because it's a lot easier to get it done by the president doing it on his own. If not, we would look at legislation. It would come, it's part of the same place where ARP and other places came from. He could decide to do it by increasing revenues. He's proposed to undo some of the taxes on the very wealthy people. Or we could just say this stimulates the economy during a time of crisis and we're pumping money in. Anytime a student doesn't have to pay $300 a month or $500 a month in debt, and they spend it in the local stores, at the restaurants, and everything else, it pumps up our local economy. Yes, I encourage not only the students, but their parents and grandparents. And by the way, if a parent took over the debt from the student, which some parents have done, it applies to them too. And we have people 40, 50 years old who still owe this debt.
And over 23 years in our nation's uniform, I had the honor of serving alongside the best of America, women and men who risked life and limb in the name of our great country and the freedoms we hold so dear. I've also seen the pain our Gold Star families of the fallen experience. On Memorial Day, we remember those we've lost in the cause of our great nation and recognize the burdens of those loved ones who were left behind. Each day, I am proud to serve the members of our armed forces in the U.S. Senate, and I recognize the loads they bear by leading ruck marches on the National Mall in Washington, D.C., bringing together fellow veterans, service members, colleagues, and staff members